Okie dokie. I am genuinely excited to make this video. My first video diary journal trading video. And I've realized this also necessitates actually talking about what are the strategies, what am I doing, where's my account at the moment, etc. What's my goal? So I've been trading on my demo. The demo gives me 10,000 Disney dollary dues to play around with. I refuse to go into my live account until I am profitable on my demo. I've had my demo since I began my trading journey with Sandy, and so 5 years. And if we think about it this way, there was a period of time where, I was deep in hurdle 2 territory, and I just decided to try every single indicator known to man. I just made things up because I just wanted to play. That was where my headspace was at the time. I just wanted to play and see and broaden my knowledge and horizon. I wasn't looking. Yeah, I was actually. No, I was looking for the golden magical indicator that will trump all other indicators because I am clearly a trading god and everybody else sucks. But that's hurdle too, and some people get stuck in that for their entire career. But I'm glad that I allowed myself the opportunity to just try everything. So with the 10,000 Disney dollary dues that they give you, my current balance. Ooh, that reminds me. I need to make a record. Let me write that down. Make record of opening balance. Record opening balance before trading. Opening balance, because how are we going to make things interesting on this video if you guys don't know the starting point? Cool. So I don't know my opening balance. Yes, I can do the math if I reverse all the trades that I took during this hour. Do I want to right now? No. It's okay. I can tell you it was a loser day, but it was according to strategy, happy day, and I'll take that. Let's go to where we're at now. So currently the account is in red. It's at minus 992.44. Ooh, scary, but not really. I've noticed that my account tends to swing every now and again between a couple of $100. And I've definitely noticed I've been getting significantly better in the amount of points that I'm getting in my winning trades. It's the losers. And in general, it's also again, I was listening to, let's go back to, the podcast that I was listening to. I can't remember his name. I'm looking on my phone now. It's like Reezy, the number one podcaster, trading man who gets all the traders. I've recently started watching it, so I can't remember his name. Reza trader podcasts. If you're in the game, you most definitely know the one that I'm talking about. I'll give it the proper referral at a later stage. But he said something that said, to get better, one way of thinking is not about how do I increase the hit rate of my winning trades, how do I get more profit in my winning trades. That's important, but a more important significant skill is how do I decrease my losers and how do I ensure that my losers aren't catastrophically huge. So one big way of doing that, I hope I didn't mess with your eardrums there when I got louder. One big way of doing that is place orders, set it and forget it trades. That's definitely been a new learning thing for me. I was originally taught orders with Coach Sandy, and I've also, as a day trader mentality, or as a gamer, let's just put it that way. As a gamer, I am conditioned to look at a screen and see movement and get excited by movement. But that's not the way that a professional short time frame day trader should be operating, because movement doesn't necessarily mean good. in a video game, movement means you can, like, stuff will happen, you press buttons, but the people who make the video game know the outcome of your actions because they want you to progress forward in the gameplay. So, for example, if it's a story, they want you to see the story, so they'll present you with a challenge, you'll press the buttons, you'll overcome the challenge, and then the story moves forward. Or if it's not a story game, if it's just like a simple multiplayer, whatever, there's still a skill set that you can learn towards getting better, but there's still a definite finite endpoint, which is you will obviously become the winner of the battle royale, whatever hell. Market is random. It's random. There is no definite outcome. So you can't think like a gamer in that way. Therefore, you have to think opposite. If your brain is conditioned movement equals good, then you actually have to not move and just look and sit, which is what every trader knows ever. Reminiscences of stock operator Jesse Livermore, that's what he said. My best winners came from me sitting and not reacting. So I've definitely started doing like set it and forget it trades. In other words, placing orders and being very happy with that. I started this video by saying that it's important this video is going to be different because it necessitates me actually telling you what am I doing, like what are my strategies, what am I doing until such time as I become profitable live, get a good computer, and then I can actually show you the screen. So for now, this is just how we're going to do it, and just so that I can reflect as well. But what I'll do is in my comment section, I'll write all the notes as well. I think that's pretty cool. Hey, it's nifty. Yeah. So I've got 3 strategies at the moment. There's one strategy that, I've been playing around with, and it's challenging. It's just giving me a challenge. But I do have 3 strategies that I'm working with at the moment. The first one is one of the strategies that Sandy teaches, and my interpretation and understanding of it. It's funny, I heard somebody say in one of the podcasts very recently, they said the general career of like a professional stickability trader is they learn a thing, they then try a whole bunch of different things, it gets them nowhere, it gets them very emotionally worked up, it causes chaos, and then like a couple years later they come back to the initial thing that they were initially taught, and then they win. So that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at. I've decided to just hone my craft with that initial thing that I was taught, but sprinkled it with the cherries and nuts and sprinkling stuff, if we're using an ice cream metaphor, of everything else that I've learned along the way. And it's been working nicely, and I'll talk more about that with the trades that I took today, even though today was a losing day. So that's one strategy. I'm using what my coach taught. I'm not going to tell you what it is, obviously, because that would be unfair to my coach and to the money I paid to my coach to learn that strategy. I will tell you about the 2 other strategies that I figured out, which are very simple and everybody else uses. And cool, so let's do that. Strategy number 2 is support and resistance lines on a 5-minute time frame. And that one worked. That one worked with a bit of a niggle. Like a bit of a thing. It was like Dow. I'll come back to explaining Dow and my relationship with Dow. So that one did work. Yeah, kind of. It's a kind of work. It wasn't a loss, but it was a kind of. Anyways, so my 5-minute support and resistance strategy. So we find support, we find resistance, and then when the market is moving, let's say Dow. So Dow was trending bearish today. by a large amount, about 280 something points. So clear bearish trend. And I'm also going to segue this with a video that I heard by David Paul. And he said in that video, when you're thinking of placing an order, I'll kind of quote exactly. He says, when you think of placing an order, go to your desk, pick up the first heavy object that you think that you see, and go poof and smash your head with that thing. And instead of placing your order at the number that you want to place it at, place the order at your stop that you were thinking of. So in other words, let's say I wanted to get in at 15 and my stop would have been at 5. So now, according to that video, and that makes a lot of sense, he says, don't get in at 15, get in at 5. In other words, get in where everybody else most likely will put their stops. So if we have a very obvious resistance line on the 5 minutes, there's going to be a lot of fluctuation above the resistance, below resistance, a lot of stop eaters. So what I like to do is, if I know here's resistance, here's support, I want to calculate what is that number minus that number, give me half. And I don't want to get in at resistance. I want to get in, boom, where my stop is, where I think my stop is at that number. That's actually where I want to get in. And then I'll and then still put my stop loss, still limit halfway in between. And so that one worked lovely with a kind of in today's trading session. So that's my second strategy. Strategy number 3 is on a 1 minute time frame, and that's when the market is moving sideways. And if I'm seeing very good indications of just continuous hits on the up and down line, then exactly the same. I'm looking to get in, sniper entry out halfway, and if it hits the stop, it hits the stop. Very small stop, and I'm okay with that loss. Cool. So those are my 3 strategies: the Sandy strategy, the 5 minute strategy, support resistance, and the 1 minute sideways market moves. Just small points, snatch them quickly. The fourth one that's giving me a big challenge is just riding the wave. Just getting in somehow and just riding the wave. And figuring out how to do that while still placing orders and not just pressing the button to get me in immediately. So that's kind of my overview so far of where I'm at. Now let's talk about today's trading session, and let's continue my story about my mistress, Dow Jones. I think I've figured her out. Still a little bit more time that I want to spend with her, though. Not that much, but still just a little bit more, and I think I know what to do moving forward. So Madame Dow, she likes her spikes, and the spikes knock a very short time frame trader out like me. However, if you're more of the intraday trader, like how I originally learned, it makes a lot of sense with the strategies that I know, because then those small little spikes are irrelevant as long as you're on the right side of the move for the trend. So I'm gonna have to think about what I'm gonna have to do, because the shorter time frames are definitely, they're not working in my favor. I don't know if I'm ready yet, or if I want to consider doing the higher time frame moves, half hour, etc. I'll have a think about that. So that's my relationship with DAO. That's where we stand on that. Here are some of the things that I learned in today's trading session, and I'll put these as notes in the comments. So the first one that I've learned is, well, the first note that I've got here is just to watch a couple of YouTube videos and really just fully understand the flags. Now, I'm not an amateur in this regard, in the assumption that the big hedge funds and institutions are looking at a bear flag or a head and shoulders or double top, whatever the fuck. Sorry for swearing. And saying, ooh, get in or get out or whatever. I know that that's not the case. I know a lot of the stuff is HFT, high frequency trading. I know. Okay, so we're on that level. We're on that page. For me personally, I don't fully understand flags yet, and but at the same time, I also understand that just because there's a technical analysis pattern called a flag, that doesn't mean that it's going to work all the time. I have read Edwards and McGee's book, Analysis of Stock Trends, so we're on the same page. If you're the kind of person watching this who's on the same page. Okay, so that's where I stand there. But I do want to learn flags and just understand that pattern, because it's, at the end of the day, it's still a universal pattern, so to speak, even though the probability is still, it could go anywhere. Next note. So this, let me tell you how many trades I did. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did 6 trades during this hour. Like I said, it was overall, my account was more a loser. Of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, of the 6 trades, 2 were good. 4 were 2 were winners, 4 were losers, and of those, that's where the 5-minute one came in, because I had a loser that was $20 and a 5-minute one that was $25. And both of those were for the 5-minute strategy. But I'll explain that more as we go. Cool. So a note that I've made previously that I'd forgotten to implement, because it's been a while, a couple of days since I've actually traded. So I'd forgotten. So I need to remind myself. Is that if I'm going to be doing a counter trend, so trading against the trend trade, I need to not be trading at the size that I'm trading within the trend. So for example, it was a bearish Dow Jones. If I am going to go for a bullish move, and I think it's a bullish move, if I'm trading $1 for bearish, if I'm doing counter trend, half. So my first 2 trades were losses at $1 per point. They were bullish counter trend trades, and I should have gone at half of whatever it is. They still would have been losses, but they would have been less of a loss. And I'm happy with that. So lesson learned. Okay. Trade number 3 was so if I didn't mention it as well, those 2 trades were for my 1-minute strategy. So when the market's moving sideways. Trade number 3 was a $20 loss. It was on the 5-minute strategy that I've explained. What happened was entry was great. Entry was great, and then it took my stop out. So I entered on the 5-minute resistance at the time, 41935. That's where I entered on the dial. Currently, the market has broken through that resistance. I entered on, it was support. Now it's resistance. This is so weird. But it's cool. I'm enjoying it. This is my thing. It's like passion. I'm passionate about it. So, so entry was great. Exactly how I wanted according to plan. Then we had Mistress Dow spiking. And I think therein lies the problem. So it spiked all the way up to my 1 minute identification place where it moves sideways, and stopped out. Then I had my order set for a buy, and this one was I had my order set for a buy at that 1 minute zone. Again, at that point, I hadn't made the note in my head to counter trend. If it's counter trend, do half. So I lost there $5. There was slippage as well. So, and there's usually always slippage of about a point with my brokerage. So lost $5. Then my final two trades of the night, market came back down to that 5 minute line, 41935. Came down a little bit more to that entry that I'm happy with. I hadn't had an order ready for it, but I did see it, and I did manage to get in. I just instantly traded for that one, and I'm happy with that. And the market went exactly to my take profit, so $25. That's why I said I'm happy with kind of, because essentially that means that I canceled out that $20 loss, came in with a $5 profit. And then we had a movement with Sandy's strategy. Sandy's strategy is a counter trend move. So it was a counter trend move. I put in the trade, and I also put it, and then that's where I was like, yes, I've learned my lesson. I did half, 50 cents. It went very quickly, and then I could also see it was losing momentum, so I just got out, small profit, 1.5 points. I'm happy with that overall. There was 10 minutes left in that trading session. I just said, cool, I'm done. I'm done. There's not really much else that I could get from any of my three strategies. I was very happy with that. One other note that I've made here, popcorn trades. The very first dude in this book, he talks about them. What's a popcorn trade? It was very funny when I read it. So what does popcorn do? It's the kernel at the bottom, and then it rises, pops, and then it falls back down because of all the other ones that are that are coming up. So in other words, you're in a trade. The trade is very good. It's looking like it might go to your take profit point. However, there's never any guarantee that it will. So what I used to do was I'd wait. I wouldn't move the stop loss to break even because it's still running on that minute time frame. I'd give it some breathing room. But if your target is right there, you don't know if the market's going to get there. It's just a probability. It might. And at the same time, you also have no idea if the market's going to zap right back against you. So eliminate a popcorn trade by just if the market's right there, just bring your stop to just above, not to break even, but to where the market is, just above. Because if it takes you out, it does take you out, but you're still in a very good profit. You haven't gotten 100% of your target, but you've gotten 90%, and that's okay, because there's no guarantee that your take profit area is going to be hit. Again, you have no idea what the market's going to do. So that's my little diary day, and that's unfortunate, sad. That's sad for me. This is going to be my last trading day for the week, but it's also going to be a very fun week, and that's okay too. Next week, let's see what happens with my job and those couple of days of gigs that I need to do. So I guess this is me signing off, and I'll see you when I see you. Take care.